Too precious for this world.
Dawson Rider review.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to my review and spoiler discussion for Power Rangers Beast Morphers Episode 16 Gorilla Art. Before we get started, I want to take a minute to talk to you about a very serious issue that affects 100% of Beastbots in the US and Australia, and that's Beastbot abuse. They've suffered from memory wipes and constant trash talk. This must be stopped. Hashtag justice for Beastbots. Let's get into the actual episode now. We were off last week, which is why there wasn't a review. I feel spoiled that I could complain about not getting my regular weekly BM last week, even though I'm getting to see all this early. So I thought this was a very strong episode. It was kind of neat because it was equal parts, I feel, a plot episode and kind of a fillery episode. Not the dimension, but, you know, like filler. It's almost actually like it was a filler episode disguised, or a plot episode disguised as a filler episode, excuse me. So like the core plot, I guess you could say, is, you know, Ravi's got his secret fetish, drawing. He was secretly drawing Roxy, and Smash caught him. And so he was like, freeze all motor functions, and then Smash was like, what door? He basically erased his memory of the last few minutes so that he didn't remember seeing him drawing. And somehow, because the last thing Smash saw was art, before he got reset, it reprogrammed him to want to draw. So then basically Smash is now going around and tagging stuff, and by going around just like one building that looks like just restrooms at a park, but he's drawing on there, and Ben and Betty happen upon him and they're like, oh, this isn't good. I mean, obviously I think of saying it wasn't good because he was vandalizing things, but it seemed like they were also concerned about a Beastbot being out in public. But what about Steel? That was kind of the basis of the plot, is like Ravi's worried about getting caught. They're like, oh, what's going on with Smash? Ravi was worried about them finding out what happened because they were going to run diagnostics on him. But then you have some major villain stuff going on, hence the title name. We found out who Vargoyle is. He is not the suit for Neo Griffazor from the Triple Dino team-up. He is a random Go Busters monster whose name was, I had to look it up because I didn't want to rewatch Go Busters before the series because I wanted everything to be fresh, but I was curious. It was the Dangaroid, Bangarang. He was like a one-off character. He was only in one episode. I think it was episode 10. And he basically matched Hiromu in speed. So that makes sense because, I almost said Vogless, that's the name of it. Vargoyle ends up getting the little power-up they've been creating by stealing the powers. So they're going to use that plot, obviously, of him and Red being rivals. And I'm going to assume there's going to be some original footage somehow incorporating Blue and Yellow's abilities. But basically, he is Vargoyle, and we find out that Scrozzle actually built him, and he turned on him, and that's who he's been running from. And he shows up to the base, and he's mad at Scrozzle for stealing those, like, Chaos Crystals or whatever, Fury Crystals, Chaos Crystals, from a couple episodes back. And then he ends up meeting Evox, and Evox and him start working together, and basically Evox recognizes Vargoyle as his strongest servant because he managed to punch Blazin' Roxy in the stomach, so he gets to be the one that is going to get the power up. And so he goes down to Earth in like a cloaked fashion and sort of pretends to be helpless as the Rangers are fighting the robots that are being sent to the city, and they're kind of sent off one by one until it's just Steel fighting him, at which point he drops the charade. And, you know, the Rangers do the Megazord battle, and there's a little bit back and forth of like, oh no, how are we going to do it because we need the copter, and the Wheeler Zord is out of commission because of the reprogramming. And then, of course, they end up saving the day and all that good stuff. And the Rangers end up finding out that Ravi is an artist because he fesses up when they're running through Smash's programming and fixing everything. The mom doesn't know yet still. I like how that's a major plot point. I mean, I do like this continuous story about Ravi's character, given that he's such a dutiful ranger, but he also has this secret passion. And I like that it's ongoing, and I like that they've touched on it multiple times, and it's present. But it's just kind of a funny thing for, I mean, I guess there are parents like that, but it's still kind of a funny thing for the commander to be like, I hate art. Like, she even said it during, she's like, well, art is useless and trash, and I hate it. Beastbots shouldn't be doing it, much less humans. Hashtag hate art. Well, I guess I see why he doesn't want to tell her. I mean, it wasn't that extreme, but that was what she was thinking in her head, and then she made a huge Twitter post about it afterwards. They ended up finding out, but the mom didn't. And then you find out at the end that Smash is actually known for quite some time, but he kept it a secret because he knew that Ravi wouldn't want that secret out, and he knows about the mom's hate for art because he follows her on hashtag Commander Hates Art. Yet again, the Beastbots are the purest, most kind characters, and the Rangers treat them like trash. I mean, this is half a joke, but it's also kind of true. Like, I've talked about in the last couple episode reviews how the Beast Bots don't get as much focus I would like, but whenever they're around, they're either being talked down to, or he just erases his memory, like, oh, I can't have you find out the secret. So, and Smash was just so joyous and, like I said, pure in this episode. I felt bad for him, and I feel bad for the way the Beast Bots are kind of treated when they're on the show. On the rare occasion we actually get a little bit of focus on them. I really enjoyed this episode, though, because I thought it was a nice character episode for Ravi, furthering a story we already had touched on, but also major stuff with the villains. We found out who Vargoyle was, who a lot of us were speculating whether he was going to be Neo-Griffosaur or not, wouldn't appear till season 2. And by the way, the image for who Vargoyle is going to be the thumbnail, so you can see who it is. I didn't want to chance putting a picture up, I'm sorry, because like anything I've gotten flagged is all been Beast Morphers related, so I thought about just flashing it quick, but I didn't want to risk it for a biscuit today. But anyway, so we got him, and he's integrated into the cast now. I'm gonna assume it's just gonna be for this mini arc, and they'll have him blow up like he did in Go-Busters. That's just what I'm gonna assume. But it did create this nice little bit too, where now Roxy and Blaze are united against him because they're worried about him, you know, raising up in the ranks and not trusting him and all that. And I think that's kind of cool. A cool evolution of the story they've been doing, because it was kind of Roxy and Blaze competing against each other, but now they're united for this. And it was kind of a cool twist too, because lots of us were assuming that, you know, this upgrade was going to be for one of Enter or Escape's other suits, but it wound up being for this, which I didn't even think about at all, because again, I kind of didn't want to rewatch Ghostbusters. That's kind of cool. We do know from those figure leaks that there's going to be a gold Blaze, which we're going to assume is Enter's original monster form, but that could be gotten by different means. But I really liked that. I thought this was a strong episode that actually had lots of little things going on, lots of continuation of storylines, both the main villain stories and character stories. Very solid episode. I would give it an 8. And we're heading into the end game now, the last handful of episodes, so it makes sense. Things are amping up, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Anyway, that's about it for this one. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can get notifications for all my videos. Thanks, guys. Dawson Rider, signing out.